good, my homages? Welcome back to another video. So I was on the fence about posting this video because, well, there's a lot of words in it. And it's like an hour-long yakking session about kind of why I was on the fence about quitting. I've tried recording this intro 3 times now, and now I'm sick of it. So here we go. It's full send now, baby. Welcome back to another video. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name's Tyler. I'm a self-taught artist. I live in the lovely northern state called Minnesota. It's very cold here in the wintertime, and I have not froze to death yet, so that's a good thing. Originally, I was on the fence about even posting this video because there's a lot of vulnerability that was shared in this, and there were a lot of pieces of myself that I guess I kind of exposed myself, but that's nothing really new on this channel. I'm pretty much an open book about most things in my life, I want to say. I think that I had a completely different idea of how this video was gonna be. I was gonna be a lot more creative with it. I was gonna have like different shots, and I had all these ideas in my head. So basically what I'm trying to say is the way that it turned out and the way that I imagined it in my head is not the same thing. It's completely a 180, and maybe that creative project I can do for a different video, kind of on a similar wavelength about how I've been feeling recently. But this is just the truth about content creation. It's the truth about being a creative and trying to make a different life for yourself. I've been on YouTube for over 1.5 years now. I've taken some risks in life. I'm feeling a bit directionless, which I talk about in this video. And this video wasn't created to make people feel sorry for me. This video wasn't created to get clout. This video was created because it's genuinely how I've been feeling. And I feel like I've been trying to silence that part of myself for a long time. There's moments where it leaks out in videos because I don't want my vlogs to be totally about, you know, how I'm so bummed out about my journey. But there's times where I get really down, and for the most part, I'm pretty much on the ups, and I like really believe in myself because I do, but I'm also human, and so I have some struggles in here. There's one day in particular where I was really struggling on it, and I was really weighing the idea of quitting social media, quitting content creation, quitting art, quitting everything. And I talk more about it in the video, so you'll have to watch and listen to like see kind of where I was at and kind of what I was thinking, but I really did sit down and think about it. I'm sharing this because there's a lot of successful people in the world that I've heard talk on podcasts, like CEOs or billionaires or even people with, you know, a decent sized platform or a following, and they're like, I wished I would have recorded my struggles, or I wished I would have recorded this X, Y, and Z so I could see how far I came. So that's a big reason why I'm creating this video. That's the first reason. And the second reason I'm recording this is because I know that I'm not the only small content creator out there struggling. I know that I'm not the only one that's got doubts, because I've even seen people at the top, they still have insecurities. They still doubt themselves in certain areas of their life, because it's a normal part of growth. It's a normal part of the process. And without it, we wouldn't have resilience. We wouldn't have consistency. We wouldn't have excitement. We wouldn't feel joy the way that we do. I think that things really have to suck in order for us to appreciate the good moments. So if you get anything from this video, I hope that it provides you with a sense of comfort that maybe you're not the only one out there that feels like that, and maybe it's relatable. And I just want to continue to inspire people to keep chasing their dreams. So this one's for you guys. Okay, you guys, don't mind the clutter. On top of the fridge, I have a tiny house, so lunch bags are gonna go up there, but I'm on a quest right now, and I have gone to the dark side. We are on ChatGPT's website because, well, my YouTube videos are not performing. I'm getting like 100 views or less, and if I get one more email from an SEO expert, I'm gonna absolutely lose my effing mind. I don't need your help. I'm not gonna pay for your services, okay? I'm not gonna cheat and figure it out myself because I'm a strong, independent woman. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask this lovely robot what good tags I could use. I don't know if people are like, what could be your thumbnails? It could be your tags. It could be maybe I'm just not interesting. Maybe I'm not an interesting person. Maybe I talk too much. Maybe. But those are things I won't change about myself because that's just who I am. And if people don't like it, I guess maybe I will never be successful on YouTube. Not willing to change that about myself, but I'm willing to do other things differently, such as looking up tags for certain videos. So my videos going forward, I'm just gonna see how this works. All right. What can I help with? This is gonna be a group effort here. Hang on, we're gonna get in close and personal. Okay, what are good tags to use for a tattoo vlog on YouTube? Right? I'm not gonna dumb it down. Apparently it's smart. See what it says. Dun, 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 dun. It's thinking for a minute. And it's thinking. And it's still thinking. Oh, here we go. Oh, niche tags. Wow. Okay, well, I'm not gonna hate on this all the way. You know, I could probably do a clip of this, but I'm just gonna show you on my camera because I'm a lazy person. It says... Sorry. Okay, so it says general tattoo vlog tags. So here's a prime example. I gotta fix my eyebrow. My tattoo vlogs have been doing relatively well. The first one has over 2,000 views and the other one has well over 100. And the first video is the best one I did. I might change the thumbnail. I might change the thumbnail for the second video. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go there. It's a lot with the amount of videos that I create. Now I'm sweating, I'm getting hot, okay? I don't know why I'm getting hot. But here it says tattoo vlog, tattoo experience, getting a tattoo, tattoo process, tattoo journey, tattoo session. So those are all good ideas. And you know, maybe the ones that I typed in because I thought that they'd be good words aren't enough. So we're just gonna try this. I'm just gonna add them to my videos. So I'm trying not to sound judgmental, but I totally am right now. This SEO expert reached out to me, and mind you, these people are consistent, and I applaud them for not being a quitter. However, this one guy was like, let me help you, your thumbnails need work, blah, blah, blah. You want me to take advice from you when I have more followers than you on it, or not YouTube, but Instagram. They had 300 followers on Instagram, so you want me to take advice from you, but I have more followers than you on Instagram. The math isn't mathing. I'm bad at math, but I'm not that bad at math, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, and because I'm nice and I'm not gatekeeping information, something that I wished I would have known that not a lot of people talk about on YouTube. I'm not sure how great it works. Obviously, I'm not super uber successful on this platform. However, I do have over 1,000 subscribers now. Wow. So the tag section, I'm gonna show you something here real quick. I think I might video record this on my laptop so you can kind of see it better. Hang on, I'll put a clip in here. All right, so we're gonna restart that. Get my life together here. All right, so say you have said video here and you have all your things. You got your title, your description, you got your thumbnail, which is here, and then you got your playlist. I have playlists, so it's kind of easier for people to categorize videos. I didn't plan on explaining this all, but I'm going to, so if people are new to YouTube, they can kind of like know what the heck. This box here is very important. You want to click no, it's not made for kids, because if you're not genuinely creating content specifically for kids, I know that they get really picky with that. So like, avoid the rabbit hole, avoid your videos like getting stopped through the algorithm. Click no, it's not made for kids. Then there's advanced, you can do age restriction. The one thing that I did not know for the first probably 100 or so videos is there's this, like my voice is cracking like a teenage boy. There's this show more here. So you scroll down and no, there's no altered content. I'm a real person. I'm not AI. And then you go down and like, this is where I didn't know, but there's tags here, right? So this is where I'm gonna add, what did my tags say here? Okay, so tattoo journey. I'm gonna add tattoo journey. And now I don't know if any of this is gonna work. I'm just seeing because I'll talk about this in a second here, but I had a really rough day yesterday mentally. If you're a woman and your Aunt Flo comes during the month, understand what I'm trying to say. My appearance isn't, oops. I can explain that other page, but whoops, I did it again. Just have a wild hair up my ass, just looking at properties in Bali. Can I afford it? No, just dreaming. A girl can dream, right? Tattoo first, I'm just gonna do like tattoo tips, because I do give some tattoo tips in there, like taking care of it. Getting a tattoo tattoo experience. So hopefully based on the SEO gods, like it gets pushed through the algorithm more using these tags. I can't guarantee this though, because I saw a 3 or 4 minute video on YouTube yesterday, and this was a guy, I don't know if he posted more than that and maybe he took his videos down or whatever, but he created a bunch of videos when he was a kid, and then I think like 10 years later he made this one video, and it was only like 3 or 4 minutes long, and it's just like busting through the algorithm. I looked on his page, he had no tags, so I don't know. They say tags work, they say they don't. I'm willing to try anything because this is the road that I'm at. Oh, I'm gonna stop screen recording this. So the moral of my story, and the reason why I'm even recording this today, and I'm not really presentable, but listen, I brushed my hair and washed my face. It's good enough for the day. Yesterday I reached a point to where I think I've had moments of doubt and I've had moments of wanting to quit, but like yesterday it was very relevant. Like I was like, yeah, I don't know if like YouTube's for me. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. And I'm saying this not out of like to get sympathy from people, but I legitimately didn't really sit down. I was walking and thinking, because obviously I'm like ADHD. I need to get to the point. But I was walking yesterday, and I'm a deep thinker. I'm a deep feeler. I'm a very intuitive person. And I was like, no, I don't think that it's not because I'm not comedic or I'm not interesting enough, because those moments of doubt surface my brain. And I know this is proof because when I had my streaming job, people loved me. Like everybody there like logged on because they liked my personality. I cracked jokes, I was funny, and that's what I like to do on my YouTube channel. I'm not much of a different person on my YouTube channel, a little bit, because like obviously on there I was selling stuff, and here it's just kind of more of a chiller atmosphere and stuff like that. But I was like, I don't know how I can be more me. And I had this revelation that kind of dawned on me, and I was like, God, is it me? And I'm like, I really don't think so. And I was really going into depth about this, and I was like, well, where am I going wrong with this YouTube channel? And all of a sudden I hear things. It's a non-audible voice, but sometimes you're not in front of the right crowd. And I think that that's, my camera's crooked. I think that that's what it stems down to a lot of times, is I don't think that I'm reaching the correct audience. I'm not reaching the right people. And one of the things that was really getting me down, and I'm talking about this because I don't feel like enough people do during the journey. They're like, oh my God, now I'm monetized. They're like, I blew up. And like, this is the hard stuff I went through. No, I'm recording this while I'm going through it, because maybe someday somebody can use these videos as a roadmap and they're like, okay, well, Tyler felt like that too. Because I'm a person. We're gonna, when we're going after something, we're gonna fail, we're gonna have trial and error, we're gonna do things that work, we're gonna be on top of the world one day. Like I gained 1,000 subscribers, I was grateful, I was gratitude, I was crying, and then like a few days later my brain's like, bitch, that ain't good enough, and I'm like, oh, I'm driving myself crazy. And there's this part of my mind that was like, you should be more successful, like you should be monetized by now. There's two things that go into this, right? Two reasons why I was feeling this way. One was because on my YouTube analytics, I usually don't pay attention to that, but there's always this one mother effer who gets on my platform and they thumbs down my video, and I don't ever hear anybody talk about this, but it was really getting to me because it's like there was nothing wrong with this video, and it was like every single video. So I don't know if I have like a current hater that's watching my page and like purposely thumbs downing my videos, but I was pissed because it's like I'm working really hard on this content, and for someone to come in and thumbs down my video, like the audacity, because I am a different kind of breed, I'm a different person. If I don't have anything nice to say, if I don't like the video, I go on to the next thing and mind my own business because it wasn't for me, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to touch base on. And another thing that's been kind of bothering me is, like I said before, like my amount of views, it's been like 100 or less. So I'm like, well, what am I doing wrong? Are people not interested in art content? And I'm scrolling through YouTube, and I'm going through all of these videos of like these artists that are content creators, and you know, there's one girl that I follow, and I love her. I love the way she films. I love her story. I love everything about her. She's got like 500,000 subscribers. So it's not the fact that I'm an artist or that I'm uninteresting. I just don't think that, excuse me, I burped, got a lot of gas. Gassy little thing, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think that it's me. I think that I'm just not reaching the right audience, and like, how do I do that? I don't know. I don't know. So like I do YouTube lives, and like I was driving myself crazy, and oh, the real second thing why I was really thinking about quitting YouTube is because, like, not quitting because like I was angry or I was like resentful towards the app or like the platform. That's not it at all. Like I was just really starting to feel like is this for me? Is this really what I'm meant to be doing? Because you see all the time, there's all these success stories online of people quit their job and then they pursue their dreams and shit just happens for them, and that's not the case for me. It looks like it on social media. I went on a trip you may have recently seen. I couldn't really afford it, but I went anyway because I'm not dead yet, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can always make more money and I can always find a way to pay for it. I know my limit of debt that I get myself into. Like, I've been there. I was like 24, 25, maybe I was younger than, I was probably 23. I was $20,000 in credit card debt. If I can pay my way out of that at that age, I can do it at 31. And it's not that far yet. We haven't got that far yet, but I'm just making a point because I don't feel like a lot enough people talk about this, but I hit 400 videos on YouTube. 400! And I was like, Mr. Beast, God, I keep forgetting the number because I'm not a numbers person, but like, I think he posted 435 videos, and I'm just like, by the time he reached 435 videos, I found out that he had like 30,000 subscribers. And here I am comparing myself to like the world's best YouTuber, and I have yet to watch one of his videos. I watch him on podcasts. Like, I know more about Mr. Beast as a person than I do his content. As I watch like Diary of an SEO and stuff like that, like I love podcast format content. And that's kind of one of the things that people like on my channel as well. But it's hard to show up as that positive person when I'm doubting myself. And like yesterday was hard. If you were here from the beginning of my YouTube journey, I was going through excision surgery of endometriosis. To spare you the despair of the boring details or like the nitty-gritty of my in-depth woman issues, I'm just gonna cut it short and sweet. Endometriosis is when uterine tissue grows outside of the uterus, causes painful periods, yada yada yada. I've struggled my entire life. I was on birth control and I just wanted to get off of it, so then I did, and I started having more issues. So I went to doctors. They basically called me crazy. It was in my head just because I'm depressed. Like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. They said that I was nuts, basically. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that being sad all the time makes you effing crazy, but there's that. And I finally seeked out the specialist that I wanted to see, and lo and behold, I was right with my gut feeling, my intuition once again, that I always question. And they're like, yeah, you have endometriosis. And they don't know you have it unless they go into a blind surgery, finds out I have PCOS as well. I had 20 follicles on one ovary and 10 on the other, which is like basically cysts. It's painful. Had the endometriosis excision surgery. And that's like the time that I started this YouTube journey, because at that rate, I hated my corporate 9-to-5 job. And I was like, I need to get out of here. It's stressing me out. And like, I just wasn't recovering as well. I went back to work too soon. I wasn't okay. I ended up quitting my job. And I pursued my dreams of becoming a full-time content creator, and I did it. I did 31 art shows last year, and it's funny when people act like, oh, you're an artist, you have all this time. 31 shows. I made all of the inventory, and I was filming on my YouTube channel. Tell me I have extra time. One more time. Can you tell I'm done? Like, I'm just done with people? Yeah, I'm okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. And I wasn't planning on going into depth and recording this video looking like I crawled out of a culvert, but here we are because I'm raw, real, and honest, and I'm not gonna be like, well, I'm just gonna like do my hair and makeup perfect, and I'm gonna put on the perfect outfit. This is the reality of how I've been feeling. This is the reality of kind of what's been going on in my life. And yesterday it was that time of the month. It was my first day. I got my period or whatever, and I wasn't doing okay. Like, the pain was so bad, I was almost puking. So I'm like, frick, do I have endometriosis again? Like, I hope not. So like, I was just feeling all sorts of emotions yesterday, which is why I was just kind of contemplating this whole journey. And I really thought about it. I was like, do I continue going with this thing that doesn't feel like it's working, or do I persevere and keep going like I usually do? Like, I think that was the pivotal moment where shit genuinely really got hard. I've doubted myself or had these little thoughts here and there, but I legitimately weighed the options, and I think the conclusion that I came to, in all honesty, was I've come too far to quit. I've learned so much about myself. This channel has helped grow my confidence. This channel has helped develop me into a person. This channel has gained these people in my life that watch me, and I inspire people, and people kind of lift me up when I'm feeling down sometimes. And I just, like, if I quit, what would it all be for? You know what I mean? It wasn't a selfish motive whatsoever. I just was feeling very defeated and just kind of sitting in my feelings, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, because there's proof. There's people that sit in their car and talk about life, and they've got 300,000 subscribers. I think, you know, one of the things that people want on this platform is, like, one, creativity, but real, raw, and openness. And maybe sometimes I'm a little bit too vulnerable, and that might scare people away, but at the end of the day, that's who I am as a person. I'm a very in-depth person. And even in friendships, if I reach a point in a friendship where I feel like I can't have depth, that friendship's a waste of my time, because then I'm not being myself. Like, I can talk about superficial things and like whatever, but if there is no deep, meaningful connection or conversation, it's not for me. I feel like I've outgrown a lot of things, and I've reached like this third of the life crisis, so to speak. I don't know the direction of my YouTube channel. I don't know the direction of this video. I just thought I'd turn it on and like start talking about, like, hey, I reached 1,000 subscribers and I didn't plan on talking. I was just gonna film like a 2-minute clip, and I just keep rambling because like I have so much to say. Yeah, like there was even a part of myself that wanted to quit art too, because nobody's like, nah, I shouldn't say nobody, but as far as the originals go, it's not like I'm asking an arm and a leg, but I know one day that I'll find somebody that genuinely appreciate the artwork for what it's for. But I thought about quitting art too, because it's like, I feel like nobody appreciates it. I keep hitting these roadblocks with content creation and creating short form content, not on YouTube or like Instagram or anything really. Instagram really doesn't push it out into the algorithm. Maybe it's an editing issue that's like on my part. I have to have my camera tilted up because I'm such a freaking giant. I'm beast, man. But on TikTok, I voiced before that like they slow it and they don't let it out into the algorithm. So that was kind of one of the things that I thought about quitting too. I was like, because I hit this roadblock and I can't finish this freaking piece. Like, it's just driving me crazy. Like, I've had this issue with the last few paintings, and like I'm so inspired, and then I get in the middle of this project and I'm like, what am I even doing? But then it ends up turning out really cool and I like it. So yeah, I think that's what I'm just gonna continue painting on it and just doing the things, you know what I mean? Today is Thursday, May 1st, 2025. I don't know really how I'm gonna like put this video together, but I think it's just gonna be a bunch of different clips of kind of my doubts it's going into like content creation and stuff like that. I went to a concert last night, and I went for the experience, and I went because I really feel like my soul needed it. It might be emotional in this video, so I'm just pre-warning you. I came back from my trip and I've been feeling extremely directionless in life, and I talked to one of my friends about this, and he was like, basically like, like your life isn't too good and it's not too bad, or it's not, your life isn't bad, but like basically what he was trying to say is like comfort. And I've really been sitting here asking myself this question of like, how long have I been living comfortable? I have like this paralysis of getting tasks done lately. I just, you know, when I came back from Bali, it was kind of like this whirlwind and this high, and I was like really excited about life, and I had this zest. I cried on the way home, but when I got home, you know, it was back to reality, and that's just how life works, you know, when you come back from a trip. But I just sat in my house and I like rethought everything about my life. I rethought where I want to go. I rethought what I want to do. I rethought what I want to create. You know, contemplated quitting social media. I've contemplated quitting my YouTube channel. And it's not like a woe is me thing, but like I think I talked about this in a clip before. Sorry, there's a hair on here. It's a real question. Like, how much do you push your mental health? But like, I really sat here and thought about it, and I wasn't really able to get into it as much, but like, what would I do if I didn't make videos? What would I do if I didn't make art? Who would I be? I would be soulless, and I would be sad like I was in my 20s, and I just wouldn't be okay. And it's this is the hard part, I think. This is the hard part. I don't have a lot of money left. Yeah, it's my fault. I am responsible for spending it, but I went and I lived because I know money comes back. And I know at the end of the day, I'm a good fucking person. And I treat people the best that I can. I get frustrated sometimes, but I know genuinely at the end of the day, I do the best with what I have. You know, I've been working really hard at this. And it's kind of gotten to the point now where like I woke up this morning and I don't even want to edit videos, and it's like, we're back to square one. Like, how long am I going to live in comfort? How long am I going to stay stagnant? Like, what needs to shift? What needs to change in my life? And this isn't meant to be like a depressing video, but like I have all of these emotions about my journey and kind of where, you know, these expectations that I placed on myself. And as much as I wish that I was in a different spot, or I wished I was more successful, I'm really proud of myself for taking risks. I'm really proud of myself for traveling internationally. I've done a lot of things, especially in the last year, that my family's terrified to do. I don't think there's anyone else in my family that's traveled internationally. I really don't. And if they did, maybe it was a long time ago. I'm just different in a sense, and I feel like my environment's really holding me back. I've said this several different times on my channel. I've been talking about this since I started my YouTube journey, and it's like, what's next? I don't know. I have people reaching out to me for advice on like art shows, and like I have advice, but like I'm not making a sustainable enough living to really give quality advice because I'm still learning myself, and that makes it really hard. I know that something needs to change. That's just a part of life, unfortunately. I've reached another time in my life where I have to like figure out some sort of plan. I thought about applying for jobs, and like, I'm just gonna be completely straightforward. It's not that I'm entitled, and I don't need to explain myself, but just hear me out. It's not that I'm entitled, or I think I shouldn't have to work a regular job. I just know how much blood, sweat, and tears that I've poured into everything that I've created in the last 5 years, that I deserve for it to work out. And for the first time in my life, I think I actually, like, I believe that, you know? I've worked really hard. I've tried, you know, I show up the best that I can. And I think at the end of the day, as a human, it's like the most I can do. But there's like this really lonely chapter that I'm facing. Not really having a lot of friends that do something similar. Like, it would be cool to be friends with people who do content creation. We could like talk about ideas, and I have one friend that's a YouTuber, but Brandy lives in Canada. But it's like, I just want to be surrounded by more like-minded people that inspire me, because I've always been the inspiration. That's not coming out of an egotistical way, but I've always been the person in friendships and in the family that's always taken risks, and I've been the person who's not afraid to try stuff. I'm not afraid to go after things. I think what I really need is people in my life who inspire me to do better, and this is the lonely chapter where I haven't really met those people yet, you know? And I'm trusting God's plan for my life, but I'm in a really bad financial spot right now. So I'm just like, if I applied for a job, what would I even do? I could go back to supply chain stuff. I could go back into purchasing or buying for a company, but I hate to say this, but I'm not motivated. Like, that just doesn't sound motivating to me. And it's like, do I continue to waste my time at a place where I'm not happy? Because like, when I had my streaming job, like, I enjoyed it, but it was hard to balance that on top of social media, YouTube videos, my business, relationships in my life. I'm really struggling with balance, and I think maybe what I need to do is just kind of disconnect from social media. This morning my mind was like super negative, and I was having kind of a hard time getting out of it, but I knew that I needed to feel the emotions. And for some reason, like, I don't know what it is with this year, but I've been having a really hard time crying. And when, you know, feelings do come up and I do end up crying about stuff, like, I've noticed a different feeling. There's going to be a couple of different points where I touch on this a little bit, but before, when I was kind of in a victim mentality, and, you know, because I went through some pretty hard shit, and I'm not making excuses for myself, but I had to go through all these challenges in life to become who I am. I don't think of it that way anymore. Like before, when I used to cry, I would be like, I just want someone here and I want someone to hug me. And I'm not saying that I don't feel like that sometimes, but it's not as much. And I think when it really shifted was when I was alone so much, I just got used to it. And I got used to sitting in my own pain by myself. But I don't know what it is, but it's just been this struggle with crying and letting out my emotions. And there's a part of myself that feels guilty for expressing them or letting them out, because I've had so many people in my life judge me for it. And they, you know, my family members would call me a big baby because I was really sensitive. And even though it might have annoyed them, like, who's the first person they run to? It's me. And I was like, God, you know, I have to like figure something else out. Like, I have to figure out a way out of this. And the reason why I'm recording all of this is because I said I'd share my challenges with you. I'll get to my point in a second here with what I'm about to say, but I can't tell you how many people there are on the internet that are like, hey, when I was going on my journey and I was chasing after my dreams, I wished I would have recorded it. I wished I would have recorded the hard times. And I think without the hard times, we can't appreciate the good times. And I've even seen people who've made it or had success. There's still going to be challenges and obstacles that I'm going to have to overcome when I get to kind of the place that I want to be or the place that I imagine in my head. I don't think that it's going to solve all of my issues. I think the biggest thing that I struggle with is not having the finances to like have the freedom to create what I want to create. And so I think what that's pushing me to do is to take what I have and take it to my advantage and just utilize the tools that I have. And I think in the end, it's going to end up growing me a lot stronger in my skill sets and stuff like that. It's pushing me outside of my comfort zone. I decided to go for a walk this morning because I was just really stuck in my head. And I was like, all right, Tyler, like, what are the things that you need to do? Because obviously I went to a concert last night and I woke up pretty late, I guess. I would say like 9:30 this morning, which, you know, I went to bed at 2 a.m., so it's not a lot of sleep. So I was like in my feelings too because I was overly tired. And that was sleeping in for me. And I scrolled on my phone for a couple of hours and responded to people. And I know I need to cut that habit out. But I laid there and I just felt extremely defeated. And I felt the word that just keeps coming to surface is directionless. I feel so directionless in life. Like I know where I want to go and I know where I'm heading, but I don't know exactly what that looks like. And I think there's a lot of moments in my life where it's going to feel like that, but ever since my trip, I just feel super disconnected from my surroundings. Like, well, sorry, my t-shirt's choking me out here. I'm a material person. Like, I seriously don't know why some people like to be choked. I'm just saying, we're not going down that road, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm getting to. Anyways, I went for a walk and I just kept feeling like, I feel like I've outgrown this city for such a long time and I've outgrown my environment and I'm comfortable. But comfort is the death of your dreams. And it's like I've known I wanted to move. Like I said, I've talked about this a million times on my channel. I want to move, but I don't know where. And so I keep asking God for clarification on like, hey, where do I go? What's the next steps? And I contemplated going on the internet and applying for jobs and just kind of sucking it up. But it's not that I'm entitled or I don't want to have a job. It's just very hard to balance all of my creative endeavors. And I still can't keep up with that by itself without a regular 9-to-5, and then you throw that on top of it. And I don't want to get sick because I'm so stressed out because I'm a workaholic. And like, I go hard at my jobs. I am not the person to walk into a place and be like, well, I don't give a F about this place. I can't do that. That's not who I am. I have integrity and I do my very best on every single thing that I create, whether it's something that is a creative project or if it's, you know, an employer. I try my best because I want to give my best work. That's just who I am as a person. And I hold that standard to myself because, not because it gives me like a status quo or something like that, but because that's just who I am. I give my best. I show up, you know? And when I was walking, I was thinking about like moving and stuff. Like, this has really been on me since I've been back, but especially this last week. And I'm like, well, God, like, where am I supposed to go? And I was asking God for signs. Before I walked out the door to go for a walk, I have notes here. I was kind of freaking out about like my finances and stuff like that. And I was like, God, you know, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this situation? Because I'm an overthinker, but that's also my superpower where I can get myself out of shitty situations or get myself out of ruts. I think outside of the box. I'm like, well, all right, how am I gonna make some money? Like, do I go more into photography? Do I do XYZ? Like, I have all of these ideas in my mind, and art shows start out next month, so I just need like a chunk of money to boot me or to foot me. It's like a few $100s. I have it saved, but like I don't want to dip into that. Anyway, that's a little bit too much information, but like I don't want to dip out of my savings to keep paying my bills. If I have to, I have to. I'll make something work. And I have a couple of weeks to make something happen because otherwise I'm going to be screwed. So I was thinking about all of this and I was asking God, I was like, okay, well, you want me to rest, but my bank account, what am I gonna do? Like, I have to think fast here. God, what am I supposed to do? Can you just shake your snow globe or make something happen? Like, I was praying last night. I was like, please, God, don't make me go back to a normal job. Please, God, don't make me do it. Please, God, don't make me do it, because I don't want to. I don't want to be so busy feeding someone else's dream that I can't focus on my own, because I've done that and I know that it doesn't work for me. Does it pay the bills? Yes, but is that sacrifice worth it? If I can really try and make something work and float myself by these next couple of months until I start doing art shows. And I'm like staring, like I'm standing by the window and I'm looking out the window and I see this truck drive by and it says on time. And I heard God is always on time, and I was like, you are, but it's uncertain of how or when, you know? And I'm just like, oh, that's cool. And then all of a sudden, before I walked away from the window, this blue jay flew right directly across my window. It was probably that far from my window. I've never had a bird fly that close to my window as I've been standing there. So I'm on this walk and I see all these blue jays and I see all of these sold signs for houses. I think I saw 3 or 4 of them in the city that I live in, and I was like, God, if that's you, if that's a sign that I need to move, like I need more from you. And I saw another blue jay, and then I saw a bird that's called an oriole. They're like really shy when it comes to humans. And they're like, I don't know, well, but he was literally in the tree directly above me and he was looking at me and chirping at me. And I was like, a lot of times when I'm uncertain in life, if I am quiet enough in my mind or in my environment, God will send me signs that like everything's gonna be okay. And I just needed that because like, I just felt so defeated and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, or I still don't know what I'm supposed to do right now, honestly. But I think it was just a moment of just trusting. And it's not saying like sit on my ass and do nothing. I'm going to continue to like edit videos and figure stuff out. I'm going to put a post out there for my photography, get a couple of jobs just to put money in my account to like float me by for a little bit. But all of a sudden I see a U-Haul truck sitting at this place. And I was like, And then I keep walking, and then I see a realtor walking with these people. This is like several blocks down the road. And I see this realtor outside of this house, or this, I don't know, it was like a double wide, doesn't matter, it was a home. And they were showing these people this house because it was for sale. And I was like, okay, if that ain't a sign, I don't know what it is. And then I kept walking, and then I saw another U-Haul truck. And then I kept walking, and then I'm like crossing one of the last corners to get to my house, and a U-Haul truck pulls up to the stop sign, and I'm like, cool, but where? Where? Yeah, I'm very confused because like I don't want to sell my house. Like there's this attachment that I have to it, because I don't owe a lot on it, and I own it. It's the biggest asset that I have. And I got this notification in the mail, and I'm telling you guys all of this because I'm recording this so I can like look back down the years too, and maybe it'll give you some inspiration to look for signs when things don't seem like they're clear or you're having a really hard time. I'm not a perfect person. I'm not going to get on the internet and show up and act like or portray a certain way that I am, because I'm not. I fall on my face a lot. I get depressed. I get in my feelings. I get in my doubt, but I still keep going. And lo and behold, a couple of days ago, I think it was a day or two ago, I think it was 2 days ago. Yeah. I received this email, and it was from my finance company for the lease on my vehicle. And they're like, congratulations, it's your last year of your lease. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Already? 3.5 years will be up in a year? Like, that went by super fast. I thought about how much I've grown since I've even just got my vehicle. I got my vehicle shortly before I broke up with my last boyfriend, and I really sat down and thought about all of the stuff that I went through in the last 2.5 years and how much growth I've had within myself. And this YouTube channel has really helped me with that. And there's a lot of times where I'm like in my feelings and I'm raw, real, and honest, because I feel like there's so much that people hide on not just this platform, but even in like, not even social media, just like they want clout. I don't want clout. I just want to be a real person and share my experiences and stuff like that. But I got some messages. I hear things and it's a non-inaudible voice. I was like, God, I'm like honestly stuck between, do I pull back or go harder? Do I pull back from my channel and make 1 or 2 videos a week? Because usually, statistically, I've noticed a trend. It's legitimate stats. In the summertime, my channel doesn't perform well. And I'm like, okay, so I really need to think about this for a minute here. Do I pull back and let go? Or do I go harder? And I think in this season of my life, I've talked about this in the beginning of this video because there's going to be several different clips, little chats of me. It's a different kind of video. I don't know why I'm creating it. Obviously, it's for a purpose. Ultimately, the conclusion that I came to was it would be stupid not to go harder because it's all or nothing. I remember when my dad started his tree company. This was maybe 7 years ago. It's been a while. Maybe it's been longer than that. And I remember he worked his full-time job, and then after he'd get done with a long day's work driving truck, he would go cut trees for people. I remember my dad did this for maybe a year and a half, and during this time I lived with him. Like for the short time I did not. But then when I moved back from Jersey like 5 years ago, was this 5 years ago? Yeah, so he's probably had his company for 6 or 7 years. Sorry, squirrel. To get to what I'm trying to say is he was working both, and I did that for a long time. And I remember my dad quit his job. I think maybe it was the end of summer of one year. I'm just gonna share a little bit about it. It was about, he was having some issues and he needed to get like a heart monitor on or something like that. The doctors just wanted to make sure he was okay. And the company that he was working for wasn't gonna give him time off. And they're like, no, I'm sorry, you can't go to your appointment. And in that moment, my dad realized like, hey, my health is more important than this job where I'm replaceable. And he's like, all right, I made up my mind. I'm putting in my 2 weeks. And I'm very much the same as my dad. I'm definitely his kid. Because I'm not afraid to be like, all right, I'm out. I'm done. I've had enough. Toodaloo. Toodaloo, mother trucker. So I remember his first year in business, like, machinery kept breaking. Like, it was bad. His first actual full year by himself, all this machinery kept breaking. He couldn't keep nothing running. My dad was stressed out. I remember that. Like, I remember the stress of him doing both, and I've been there too. But like, I looked at my dad one day before he ended up quitting his job. I was like, I know you hate when people tell you what to do because I'm obviously the same as you in that aspect, but I said, you're really stressed out. I think there's gonna have to come a point to where you're gonna have to let one of them go, and you're probably gonna have to quit your job. I don't know how many months after, I can't remember. It's been such a long time. My dad ended up quitting his job. But to get back to what I was saying, that first year was hell. And I remember something that my dad told me that stuck with me today is he said, Ty, it was either make it or break it. And I think maybe that's the situation that I'm in right now, is I either pull back and go back to a life that I didn't like, where I wasn't happy, where I wasn't fulfilled, where I was miserable. And I'm not saying that working a 9-to-5 job is the worst thing that's ever gonna happen to you. It's just not for me. I am very driven. I'm individualistic. I'm a good employee, and when you're a good employee, you end up taking on too much. And I'm just not gonna go down that rabbit hole again because I know myself. And maybe I'll go back and end up doing it, but like, I don't want to. And so in this moment in my life, I'm not going to until like, if it got to that point where I desperately needed to, I'd consider it. I'm kind of considering it now, but I'm about 85% no on the idea because I'm weighing on it. And like I said, I think that this is one of the situations where it's like either make it or break it. Like whether it's my artwork, whether it's my content. I know that I want to start creating more short form content because those videos do probably the best on my channel, and I think that as much as I need to suck it up and just face the reality of the truth, people will get into my videos, but they need to get hooked in a certain way. So I think I'm gonna try and do more short form content throughout these next few months to try and pull people in and get more subscribers and stuff like that, and then I can get my watch time up. I'm just trying to strategize how to build this channel and kind of create a stable income between YouTube, Patreon, brand deals in the future. I've never got like a legitimate brand deal. I've had people want to collaborate with me where they like send me a product and I tried it. I want to be mindful of who I say yes to in the future because I want it to be something that really is of me and for me. So this is me being level-headed after journaling and going for a walk. You saw the clip earlier where I was just like severely doubting myself, and I think that's part of it. I think we're all guilty of it. Excuse me. I went to the Spirit Box concert last night, but Courtney was talking about how when people would give her advice, she kind of had like this imposter system, like they were saying it, but it wasn't for her. I've never felt like that about that, but like I feel imposter syndrome sometimes where I'm like, well, who do I think I am getting on YouTube and making videos? There are times where I feel like that, like, who do I think I am? And I'm like, I'm Tyler Bakken, that's who I am. I don't know, I like creating stuff and I like sharing things. And it was funny, one of my friends mentioned to me, he's like, you have such a calming voice, it's so soothing. This is way off topic, but I'm gonna talk about this because that's what we do here. He's like, and I said, you know, it's funny because when I had my other job, people got on there and they're like, oh, I just come on here because your voice is so soothing. And I don't think of myself like that. I've been told my voice is annoying. I've been told that my accent's annoying. And it's kind of cool to like listen to what people think of you because like you perceive yourself a different way than everybody does, or like things that you just don't talk about. So yeah, I guess that's what I have to say. I'm also gonna utilize my resources, and I was like, why would I give up if I'm this close to monetization? I literally think that today is, Wednesday, May 1st, and I need 1,180 more hours of watch time. So if you can, please make it to the end of my videos. I'm praying, just please, God, just do it. I know sometimes I end up talking a lot, but you know what? That's what we're here to do. That's why it's my channel. But I like to talk about the things that people aren't willing to talk about, and I'm willing to tell you the truth because a lot of people aren't. This is the reality of like a real person in the real world doing content creation. Jesus, Tyler, get it together. English. Press 1 for English. But here I am, a regular, degular girl. Actually, that's a lie. I'm pretty odd, but here I am, an elder emo trying to make a life for myself and kind of have a platform to speak on for people inspiring their dreams. And I'm starting to wonder if like, obviously you have like different passions and you have different purposes and different like phases of your life, but I think one of my purposes in life is inspiring people because my first Bali travel vlog posted, and I can't tell you how many people are like, oh my God, I would never have the confidence to do that by myself. I don't think about stuff like that because I just do it. You know, was I scared? Yeah. Was I anxious? Yeah. It might have seemed like I wasn't, but I was anxious as hell. I was on the plane, I was having panic attacks, and we were internalizing things, and it was a little bit anxiety ridden because it was something I never did, but I was so willing to do. I was ready to jump in. I'm like, come on, let's do something new. And then I ended up coming back and I'm like, mundane comfort, what needs to change? Still don't know, don't have the answers. Maybe I'll tell you in this video if I figure it out. Maybe I won't, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But that was another thing that I was gonna talk about is like, why would I go back to what's familiar as far as like my old patterns in life, like getting a regular job? Why would I do that versus trying every single thing that I can try to make it? I'm not trying everything. I'm being honest, I'm not utilizing everything that I have. I'm sitting here in a corner shaking like a chihuahua, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, or like I'm Cowardly the dog, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But those are the parts of me that's like 7-year-old me inside that's scared, that's 5-year-old me that's scared, that's 13-year-old me that's insecure that are coming out in these moments, and I have to remind myself, like, bitch, check yourself. You've grown, you have confidence, you're gonna make it somewhere. So yeah, hopefully this is inspiring you to like, choo-choo, all aboard the train. We're in the really uncomfortable spot. It's either make it or break it. Just recording this so I have future evidence of, wow, I kept going, even though I didn't feel like it. So there's that. Well, if you made it to the end, congratulations. I would be very shocked if you made it to the end. Drop me a comment down below. If you're new, welcome. Please feel free to subscribe. Trying to get monetized still. It is currently Friday, May 2nd, 3:35 p.m. to be exact. It's 2025. I don't remember if I said that or not. My brain doesn't remember all the details, but I just want to say thank you if you did make it to the end. There was a lot that I had to say, and I think that it was absolutely necessary. And another big reason why I decided to create this video is because I don't feel like there's enough people talking about some of these hurdles. I don't think that there's enough people really documenting their process of their YouTube, whether it's a YouTube journey or becoming an artist or being like, you know, an author, something creative, like pursuing a creative passion and doing something outside of the norm, and especially doing something that is extremely different than what the rest of their family does. Just gonna share something real quick before I end this video. I believe in God, and I believe in that everything happens for a reason. These are just my beliefs. I've never been here to shove beliefs down people's throats. There's a point to what I'm saying though. I feel like when you know that you're on the right path, there's gonna be thing after thing after thing, roadblock after roadblock that keeps getting pushed into your path, and it'll try and knock you off course, whether it's the enemy, the devil, or negativity, however you want to label that, but the bad stuff. And I think that these tests get thrown our way to see how resilient we really are, and if we're gonna stand up and face ourselves, not only ourselves, but the problem itself. Stand up and be courageous, stand up and keep fighting, stand up and stay consistent, even though there's so many times where you want to give up. And I had a family member call me today, and they knew that I quit my job, but they act stupid a lot of times, and they go, "So you're not working today?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't say this," but I was like, "No, I quit my job." And they're like, "What are you gonna do for finances? What are you gonna do for money?" Like trying to instill fear in me. And just nonchalantly, I didn't even like second guess it. Like at first I was a little bit offended, and then there was this other part of myself where it just flew out of my mouth, and I was like, I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out like I always do. Confidence, because I know I'm going to, I always do. God's always got me, I know that. That's the first thing. This journey is especially hard because there's gonna be 95% of the people, if not more, of people around you are not gonna understand what the F you're doing. Maybe 99.9% of people aren't gonna understand what you're doing, but they don't have to, because this is your life. And at the end of the day, that's kind of where I got to too, where like, you know, there's times where I get consumed and I let people's opinions dictate like how I'm feeling emotionally about things, but I know at the end of the day, I'm gonna be okay. I know at the end of the day, God's got me, and as long as I keep working on something, I keep staying consistent, and I keep putting my head down and grinding, I have faith that one day things are gonna work out. And I did weigh quitting. Every successful person that I've ever heard talk has talked about the hard part, where they wanna quit, where they do wanna give up. And I legitimately sat down and thought about it, and I'd be lying if I said that that thought still wasn't inside of my mind, because there's times where I want to, but I've come too far to give up. And I don't care about letting anyone else down in my life, because I've gotten to the point where there's so many people that didn't believe in me, or I don't need people clapping for me anymore. And it's not an egotistical thing, but I think when you get to a place where the only person that keeps clapping for you is yourself in those dark times, and you're handling all this stuff by yourself, and you're seeking out answers from your higher power or whatever you believe in, I think that there's a strength that comes within that. And I just want to make a good life for myself, and I want to be happy, and I want to have moments of joy, and I don't want to do what everybody else does. And time again, society will sit here and make you feel bad about it. And obviously I haven't got to where I'm going today, and people are like, "Well, Tyler, how can you be so sure?" Because I know when you keep showing up, beautiful things happen, because I've had it happen in small moments in my life. So if you got anything out of this video and you're pursuing your dreams, or maybe, you know, you got to a place in your life where like, wow, do my videos actually suck? Those are the moments for us to pivot. Those are the moments that ignite the change. Those are the moments that push us to do greater things. And as much as I hate it and it's not fun, it makes me better. It makes me want to achieve more. So don't listen to the people around you. I know it's easier said than done a lot of times, and there are going to be some tears shed, because I still cry about it sometimes, of some of the nasty or conceited comments that people, like snarky remarks that people give me. But I believe in you. So if you needed to hear that today, I believe in you, and I'm going to continue to keep doing this, and I'm not giving up. I just had a moment, and I'm a human, and I let myself go through it because I feel like that it was necessary. So I hope you have a great rest of your week, and hopefully this video provided you with some sort of comfort. And I just I wish for nothing but good things for you in your life because you deserve it. And if you're doing something that people think you're effing crazy for, you know it's a good dream then. Keep pursuing it. Have a wonderful rest of your week, guys. Peace the F out. Bye.